Senator Ricketts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For more than 80 years, the U.S.-Japan alliance has acted as a cornerstone of peace, security, and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific. With communist China, Russia, the Korean Peninsula, Taiwan Strait, all within 200 miles of the Japanese soil, our forward deployed presence in Japan is fundamental to deter aggression in the region. This is especially pertinent given Beijing's dramatic military buildup and increasingly provocative actions. Gray zone activity tactics, saber rattling, all to force our allies and partners to bend to their will. Additionally, the alliance forms the foundation of vital multilateral cooperation from the Quad to trilaterals to South Korea, Australia, the Philippines. I was pleased to see President Trump and Prime Minister Shiba commit to pursue a new golden age of U.S.-Japan relations when they met in February. Not only did the President reaffirm our unwavering commitment to defense of Japan, but importantly, Japan committed to fundamentally reinforce its own capabilities, as Mr. Glass just mentioned. Mr. Glass, in order to strengthen mutual deterrence and response capabilities, it's critical that we work to turn the U.S.-Japan alliance into a truly interoperable military alliance. However, this will require Japan to go beyond the previous defense spending commitments, which you already mentioned they are. If confirmed, could you build upon some of the things you just talked about on how we can enhance that defense and security cooperation and what you, as our ambassador, can do to facilitate that?
Thank you very much for the question, Senator. If confirmed, clearly in the last question, this becomes a tremendous priority. Japan lives in a very tough neighborhood. And as you mentioned, whether it's China, Russia, North Korea, it's all in their backyard. And so working together with them is of critical importance. And I think if we look from a business standpoint on the economic side, our job is to support them in every way that we can to grow both of our economies together. But on the technical side, we clearly need to work on our cybersecurity with Japan. We are the best in the world at that. We can certainly help in that methodology. We can also help in the world of co-production. One of the issues that I've seen, and as you know, as we come in from the outside, we don't have the ability to be able to dig very deep into these issues. But Japan currently has an over $50 billion backlog for military equipment from the United States. And in that procurement process, none of this is moving along very quickly. And so between F-35s, transport planes, all of this to thwart the pressure that China is placing on Japan, and we're also placing the pressure that we need Japan to be the tip of the spear in how we push back. And so we need to figure out a way to get that procurement quickly, work on the supply chains. One of the things that I have been doing a little bit of reading on is the co-productions of some of these materials. Co-production of AMRAAM missiles, that kind of item. It's always difficult to change ways, especially if you're a government, but that just seems to be a much more efficient way to do business and to be able to give them the ability to help us push back against China.
Yeah, and that would help with the interoperability, absolutely. So thank you for that. And you mentioned, security is the foundation of the U.S.-Japan alliance. Economics is its lifeblood. You mentioned economy there, getting both of our economies to be prosperous. It certainly is the case for my home state of Nebraska. Thanks in part to President Trump's trade deals with Japan during his first term, Japan is one of our largest export markets, and certainly the largest for pork and eggs, our second largest for beef, our third largest for corn and overall ag exports. Japan is also a promising market for grain-based fuels. I was encouraged by Japan's recent announcement it intends to blend 10% ethanol in gasoline by 2030 and 20% by 2040. And of course, Japan is positioned to become one of the largest export markets for sustainable aviation fuel that rely on grain-based ethanol and feedstock. So it's great opportunities there to be able to build the economics there. I want to also move on real quickly. I know I'm running out of time here. Ambassador Johnson, if you're confirmed, what actions will you take to strengthen collaboration with Mexico to secure our southern border? And you may have already hit upon this stuff already, but if you could just briefly recap for us, that'd be great.
Sir, basically, I think it's to establish a dialogue with them to ensure that they realize that the problem is not just our problem, it's their problem as well. We talked about providing a way that they can secure the politicians and the government officials that want to do the right thing in Mexico, but now they are coerced and their families are threatened by these terrorist cartels. And I think if we can do those two things and we can increase information sharing and protect officials that want to do the right thing, it'll make a big difference.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.